Hey everybody, Mark from Rams Up here. We have mock draft number 14 about to kick off here. You can follow along. We'll be using once again the NFL mock draft database. And this is the sixth in a series we've been doing where we're going edge, tight end, cornerback, mixing up the order every time. And then the final pick, defensive line. We're going 5 rounds. So because this simulator has the comp picks already awarded, we get the second round pick, third round pick, and 2 fifth-round picks. So let's get right into it. I think you've seen enough of these to kind of know what's going on here. Share the draft with you, and let's get it kicked off. And you can follow these picks along the top. And as a reminder, I do not pretend to be a draft expert. Learning a little bit more about these guys every week. We had an interview with Eric Mulhare of the South End Zone podcast last week, and he really helped me out a lot. I may have changed my opinion slightly on some of these guys, but I'll try to stick to my MO so that when we're done with these 6 drafts, we can compare apples to apples and compare all 6 of them and see which approach made the most sense. And again, just like in the past drafts, we will reject all trades. Sorry, Les. You'd probably jump on a couple of these. So it's the Rams' turn to pick. And like I said, this is the last of those 6. And this time we are taking tight end first. And just to give you an idea of the type of guys that are there that we'll be passing on, Lucas Van Ness, one of the better edge rushers. Darnell Washington, the giant tight end out of Georgia. B.J. Ojulari is an edge rusher that after our discussion with the South End Zone pod guys, they really love Ojulari. Now, there are some guys at the top of the draft, edge rushers, that, they'll be gone for sure. But of the guys that might last, Ojulari might be my favorite at this point, and Luke Musgrave, a tight end that in a lot of other drafts would probably be the best tight end available, but we may see 3 guys go before him. And Felix Anaduke Uzama is still there. There's a lot of good guys, but let's go back to the top, and we're going to filter for tight end. And we already know that Darnell Washington is still there. And this is a guy, as Eric shared with us on our last podcast, is a blocking beast as well. Not only a great target, a great receiver, a guy that is going to step in on day one and obliterate linebackers and such in the run game. So we're going to draft Darnell Washington, and Luke Musgrave and Tucker Kraft. Sam Laporta, all of these guys are going to be starters in the NFL, but we're going to roll with Darnell Washington. I'd be happy with Luke Musgrave, to be honest with you, but let's take Washington. We'll turn this filter off here so we can see what guys are available overall when we get to our next pick at the top of the 3rd round. It's going to be an edge rusher we're going to select. And I have a feeling there's going to be some good ones, a few good ones. Zach Harrison out of Ohio State. He's a guy that I've selected in previous mock drafts, I think. The cornerback, Caillou Blue Kelly is still there. Tanner McKee, the quarterback, I kind of like as a potential, a rookie that could potentially step in and be a reliable backup as opposed to what we have now or what we had last year. Let's filter for edge to make sure we get the right guy. And as we saw, it's Zach Harrison at Ohio State. We will select Zach Harrison and turn this filter off. And our next pick is going to be cornerback. And a couple people disagreed with me. I think I've said a couple of times that this is not a great cornerback draft. And apparently it's better than I thought. Caillou Blue Kelly being an example of a really good cornerback you could get in a 3rd round, possibly later. So we'll see what's here when we get to it's going to be the 5th round though, right? It's a long ways to go between that 3rd round and 5th round pick. And that's why I'm pretty certain the Rams are going to try to trade up into that 4th round. If they go into this draft with 10 picks, they'll surrender 2 or 3 of them if they can get themselves into the 4th round. Whatever it takes would be my guess. See if we see any names here that we like. Tank Bigsby, really good running back still there. Mike Morris is a defensive lineman that I've had my eye on. And Johnson, the running back out of Texas, he's a big running back, big, powerful running back. And Michael Wilson, the wide receiver out of Stanford, is a guy that really stepped up in the Senior Bowl. He's catapulted himself into probably the 4th round, I'm guessing, as opposed to here in the 5th round. Baldonado is an edge guy that I've found myself drafting a couple of times. When you wait until this point in the draft to pick an edge, that might be the guy you're getting. But we're looking for a cornerback. We'll filter for cornerback. And we got Riley Moss, the cornerback out of Iowa, who is easily the best one available. And guilty as charged. I don't know a lot about him, but I am going to look him up when we're done here and see what we're drafting after the fact. Riley Moss, the cornerback out of Iowa. This is an educational exercise, if nothing else, as we prepare for the draft a couple months out still. And our next pick, in every one of these drafts, we have been going defensive line with this last pick. Why defensive line? Until I know what's going on with Greg Gaines and or Ashawn Robinson, I think the Rams are drafting a defensive lineman and with one of these first 4 picks. Not going to be a high priority because they do have some guys there. You know, they got 99, obviously, Jonah Williams, Bobby Brown, Marquise Copeland, some guys that played pretty well, actually. So here we are. We're looking for a defensive lineman. Johnson, the running back, still there. Wilson, the wide receiver, still there. And knowing this, if I'm Les Snead, I'm deviating from my defensive line plan right here because I'm probably going to get a bad grade. I didn't see anyone at the top of this draft on the draft board right now. And so far, as you can see, I've gotten a B+, an A+, and an A. I don't know why I got a B+ for Washington at 36 there, but whatever. So we'll filter for defensive line. Kobe Turner from Wake Forest. His name's been popping up a lot in these mock drafts, and that will be the selection. And B+, not bad. So finally, we have our these 6 drafts complete. What I'm going to do is I'm going to come back either on a pod or on a video, and I'm going to scrutinize these 6 drafts that we've done here and see which one made the most sense. And then we'll get back to some more fun drafts, all kinds of different approaches, maybe just the best player available, see what we come up with. I just really enjoy this. Hopefully everybody's learning a little bit about these players, becoming more and more familiar with these top prospects. And that's what it's all about. So we can be a little bit smarter in the criticism that's sure to come when Les Snead and Sean McVay run their picks up to the podium there. That's all I got for this time. We'll be back with our grading system, our assessment of these 6 drafts, probably within a week or so. That's all I got out here.